What's going on, guys? Welcome to LetThereBeMath again, and in today's video we're going to be talking about how to integrate the two hyperbolic functions sine and cosine hyperbolic. Now, in order to find the integrals of these two functions, we're going to use the fact that these functions can be decomposed into a combination of two exponential functions. So for the hyperbolic sine function, we have an ex minus e to the minus x, all of that divided by 2. And for the cosine hyperbolic, we have ex plus e to the minus x. So they look pretty similar, except for a minus sign in the sine hyperbolic function, which is what differentiates them. Now, the first thing we're going to do is let's start off with the integral of the hyperbolic sine. And just to make it a little bit more general, I'm going to include a constant of integration, or just a simple constant a, inside of the argument. So let's now write this down in terms of those exponential functions. So as we know, that's going to be the exponential of the entire argument, which is e to the ax, and then minus e to the minus ax. And then we have a factor of 1 over 2 over here, and then the x. Alright, so now what we're going to do with this is we're going to apply the property of integrals, which is that any combination or any sum or difference of functions is the same as integrating each function individually. So let's bring that factor of half to the front. And now we're going to express this in terms of e to the ax minus e to the minus ax. And now that we have that, we can separate this into two integrals. So the first one is the integral of e to the ax, and then minus half of the integral of e to the minus ax. Alright, so what can we do with that? Well, we're not going to integrate each of these using the techniques of integration we learned for exponential functions. And it is that we're going to have the same function again, but we're going to divide it by the constant that is in front of x. And in this case, that's going to be a. So that's going to become 1 over 2. And then we also have an a dividing those two. So let's write it as 1 over 2a. E to the ax, and then we're going to have minus. Now this is the part that is quite important. We're going to have a minus a times that minus sign at the front, so that's going to become positive. So that's plus 1 over 2a e to the minus ax, and then some constant c. Now using this, what we can do is we notice that both of them have a common factor, 1 over 2a. And what we're going to do is we're going to regroup those terms in the following manner. So we're going to place the 1 over a at the front, and then we're going to place the e to the ax plus e to the minus ax divided by 2 inside of these square brackets, and then we have the integration constant c. And then for the last step, what we'll notice is that if we go back to our original definition of the hyperbolic functions, we notice that this looks exactly like the hyperbolic cosine. So that means when we integrate this, we get 1 over a times cosh of ax plus a constant c. Okay, so even though we had to expand this in terms of integrals, we have now proven that when you integrate the hyperbolic sine, you get the hyperbolic cosine function. We could have also used the fact that when you differentiate these two functions, you get back to the other. So let's say we started out with the hyperbolic sine of x. If you differentiate that, d over dx, you get cosh x. If you differentiate that again, you're going to get back to hyperbolic sine. And then the cycle goes around like this. So you always end up with the same function again every time you differentiate. And this is quite similar to what we get with the trigonometric functions sine and cosine, except there's no change of sign during that entire cycle. So it kind of makes sense that if we go around the other way to perform an integral operation, we would be able to get the other function. Now let's apply the same logic to the cosine hyperbolic. And as before, I'm going to start off by writing it in terms of cosine hyperbolic of ax dx. Now we're going to decompose that into this integral. So let's write it as half at the front, e to the x, and we have an a at the front as well, plus e to the minus ax dx. And now we're going to integrate each of them individually. So the first one, as before, is going to give us 1 over 2a times e to the ax. And then the next one, we have a minus a that's going to come to the front. That's going to make that negative. So that's minus 1 over 2a e to the minus ax plus the constant c. And just as before, we can group those two in the following way. We can have the 1 over a outside. We have a square brackets e to the ax minus e to the minus ax divided by 2 plus c. And then finally, we notice that this corresponds to the hyperbolic sine function. So that becomes 1 over a sine hyperbolic of ax plus the constant c. And that's how you integrate the hyperbolic functions, sine and cosine hyperbolic. Now we can do the same thing, and we can apply the same logic to the other hyperbolic functions, namely the tan hyperbolic function. And that's what we're going to do in the next video. So as always, if you guys would like to see more content from LetThereBeMath, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next video.